Salve ragazzi, ben arrivati sul Calice Nero. Oggi abbiamo una band molto molto importante direttamente from UK, quindi nelle lande appunto inglesi, appunto sono gli Acid Rain, una band che oggi abbiamo i due membri, uno è appunto il fondatore, creatore, appunto Mr. Howard, che è appunto il cantante dal 1985 appunto sulla band Albionica, e poi abbiamo il batterista che è entrato nel 2015, si chiama stiamo parlando di Mark Jackson. Buonasera Marghevanarca, quindi
Ciao a
oggi
tutti
ragazzi
ragazzi,
mi
bentornati in
raccomando,
Calice
state attenti perché è uno dei nomi più importanti del thrash metal, quindi veramente accogliamoli con un grandissimo caloroso applauso perché veramente meritano i
Nero.
ragazzi.
Esattamente, siamo molto contenti che hanno accettato il nostro invito alla trasmissione. Infatti ci stanno aspettando nell'anticamera il nostro programma. Per tutti quelli che mi hanno visto al Metropolis a Cassino, ho detto Graziano, ma quando ritorni in diretta, eccomi qua in pompa magna. Salutiamo ovviamente la carissima Fotoreporter X, che tra l'altro abbiamo avuto anche un bellissimo
Ciao
incontro a
carissimo.
Milano, e che ringrazio per la cortesia e per la compagnia, Margherita. È stato un piacere veramente incontrarti dal vivo. Ma come tutti gli amici che abbiamo visto all'Alcatraz Milano con i Whitechapel, con i Dirty Smarter, i Fit for an Autopsy, gli Spite, quindi veramente è stato un piacere fare una bella chiacchierata con tutti voi amici, veramente è stato molto molto bello. Però adesso, senza indugiare oltre,
Ciao Paul.
andiamo in diretta ai nostri amici dall'Inghilterra. So guys, after this presentation of our guests in Italian, of course we have to of course be prepared because the guys are waiting. Meanwhile, I just want to say thank you for all the people that are joining us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, but also on our Telegram chat. Some guys asked about the t-shirt and the merchandise of Il Calice Nero. That links in description, as well all the info about the band, website, Bandcamp, digital distribution, whatever you want about the band to know, to buy merch, because you guys, you have to support bands because of course they need it. We are really happy to have Acid Rain. So without wasting too much time, let's call inside our beautiful realm of Il Calice Nero, Howard. Hello Howard, welcome to Il Calice Nero, and also Mark.
Hi.
Hello Mark.
Hello Mark.
Hello.
First of all, guys, before passing the word to my buddy Alan, the maestro here, thank you for accepting our request to make the interview. A lot of guys actually on our Telegram group requested your band, so we hope that everyone on the show can be now finally happy to have Acid Rain on the live show. So to everyone that asked this band that we have tonight, just don't be shy, just type in the comment whatever question you want to the guys. Don't be shy.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it
Questions.
on, because we have our question prepared. So be prepared, because the maestro is known for his artistic question, no? But we also want to interact with you guys. So right. And meanwhile, the word to the maestro. Vai maestro, intanto scrivete le vostre domande nei commenti. Vai maestro.
Howard e Mark. Una domanda per tutti e due. Hello Mark. Allora, Howard, se tu entri nel mondo della pittura e cerchi di creare arte attraverso il primo full-length degli Acid, tu Mark devi invece interpretare la tua arte attraverso un film con i tuoi partner di batteria. Come avviene il tutto?
Okay, so this question is about the beginning of the band, but also try to explain your artistic vision in a different way that usually basically a musician do, because the maestro wants to know, in your opinion, about the early days of Acid Rain, which kind of painting can represent the band as style, as way of express this particular art, and also which kind of movie can be perfect to be can be used, for example, one song from the first full-length, for example, as a soundtrack for which movie, which kind of movie. So the maestro wants to know your artistic vision, maybe in a weird way, but I think it's interesting.
No, I get it. I get it. And it's a great question, because the answer is really easy.
Psycho.
Psycho is the movie, and the art style is graffiti.
Okay.
We were young, and we were making musical graffiti. You know, it was like thrash metal had just been born, and we were like just running around, making thrash metal, which was to me, graffiti.
And can you actually, Howard, share with us the early days of Acid Rain? Maybe some memory about getting started with the band in a period of time which is totally different than nowadays. So how was the scene back then? I was getting in a band. I was getting influence, so basically creating like networking with the other band. How was the situation back in the days?
Well, I was a tape trader, and until we had our Moshkinstein demo reviewed in Kerrang, we were pretty much unknown because we weren't part of a scene. Nobody knew who we were, because all we did was we rehearsed once a week in a village hall, and we just wrote songs. There was no gigs to play. So all we did was just keep writing original material better and better and better. And I genuinely think that the lack of gigs and the lack of live circuit is why we ended up being one of the rare bands that got signed. In fact, so rare that we were signed from an unsolicited demo tape, the only band Music for Nations ever signed from an unsolicited demo tape. And so we were so focused and living in our own little world every Sunday when we rehearsed. We never played covers, all we did was just keep writing original thrash metal that we wanted to hear. Ramsey brought in, said, let's do a song about Psycho. I wrote the lyrics, and it came together that quickly and that simply. And they were, it was very, very different times. I mean, never mind there not being any internet. I mean, there's hardly any fucking television. So, it was ancient history, man. You kind of, they were innocent times. But it was great fun. It was great fun. But the weird thing about us is that we had signed a record deal, signed a management deal, recorded our first album, and then we played our first ever live gig. And the gig is basically exactly as it was now. Mark, if you'd been there, you'd be like, like from day one, boom, they've always been like this. We've always had like mad fans, crazy reaction. Doesn't matter what country we're in, we seem to bring out the best and worst in people. It's great. I love it.
Okay, before jumping to a question for Mark, I just want to translate what we said so we can keep going. By the way,
no
I know that Mark was live with Empire of Evil. We had Tony Dolan some weeks ago. I also toured with Venom Inc. Last year with my band. So I think that there is something, a connection between the guests that we are bringing on. So I'm really happy to.
Oh,
it's kind of like a circle, yeah.
Mark's played in a band. Mark's played in a band with him. But I've known Tony for over 20 years, so it's like, in fact, I've known Tony for about 30 years. It's insane.
Great,
so
great.
we're that's the UK thrash scene. We all know each other. Yeah, we all live on the same street.
Yeah, because from Italy, maybe we have like an idea of UK as a metal scene that was bigger and greater than us. But I think that usually we have some things in common between country and country. So the brotherhood, the fact that everyone know each other, the support, maybe. Not everyone support everyone, but you got the idea of what I'm saying. So it's great to have like parallels between Italy and England, for example, but also something that is different between each other. So maybe we can discuss about that in the later question. But Maestro have his own one, so without missing too much time, I try to make a point about what we said. And I see no question on the comments. So guys, come on, make some question to the guys. So I try to
guys. Make with the questions.
Make the questions. So we have the lucky that Howard and Mark want to talk about their band. So use this time wisely, ok? Siamo arrivati alla translation time, come di consueto. Abbiamo fatto una domanda che attraverso l'arzigogolare del maestro comunque abbiamo discusso anche le prime battute della band. Per quanto riguarda il film, maestro, loro parlano come ispirazione di Psycho, che infatti ci fa vedere anche qualcosa Howard, che l'ho zoomato. Ok, infatti ha la sua collezione di DVD pronta, diciamo, alla mano. E poi come stile di... Ok, perfetto. Ok, l'ho visto, ok. Come stile di pittura praticamente hanno scelto i graffiti, fondamentalmente. Grazie Matteo, un abbraccio, ci siamo visti sabato. Infatti lui ha chiesto quando tornavo nel Calice Nero. E abbiamo parlato anche della prima scena, diciamo, thrash metal. Tra l'altro Mark ha condiviso il palco anche con Tony, loro si conoscono con Tony Dolan, che è venuto sul canale. È un cerchio che si chiude praticamente per noi, perché comunque è stata una bella puntata quella che abbiamo fatto. Tra l'altro stessa giornata Brucheria e Tony Dolan, stessa giornata. So we did like an episode, guys. Brucheria, and after Brucheria, Tony jumped on the live stream. He was talking like 20,000 hours alone. So it's great.
I was going to make that joke, and I thought I better not.
Even when we were like on tour playing around together, so I was doing the sound check with my band. Was watching our sound check. So basically, Mantas grabbed we have to go to the dinner. No, I won't watch the guys. It was like that. So, bye, Tony. If you're watching us, a big hug from everyone. Right, comunque abbiamo parlato di questo con loro, anche della loro scena, di com'era. Non c'erano live. Non c'erano solo prove, solo scrittura di materiale, niente cover, solamente volevano suonare come le loro band preferite, ma volevano farlo in una maniera un po' personale. Quindi fondamentalmente è questo quello che l'ha spinto. Ok, by the way, thank you Lee Ozard for subscribing to our channel. Thank you. Good for work, Lee. Ok. Perfetto, io farei una domanda a Mark, perché comunque abbiamo parlato dell'inizio della band, maestro, quindi direi facciamo l'inizio ma anche i tempi più recenti, no? Così facciamo un po' parlare un po' tutte e due, no? Che dici? Vai, ti lascio la parola, ho tradotto quello che devo tradurre, quindi puoi parlare tranquillamente.
Mark, se ti chiedo di fare una jam session con due batteristi, con Richard Christie Joy Jordison, che ormai è scomparso, miglior vita, purtroppo, che era l'unico dei Slipknot che sapeva suonare. Secondo te, che jam session si poteva tirare fuori? Che genere soprattutto? Fuori dal metal? Metal estremo? No.
Okay, so basically the maestro talked about the artistical expression while drumming. As you can see, I'm a drummer. We are drummer too, so me and the maestro both playing drums. And usually when we had the chance to express something different than a drumming playing for the song, it's usually with jam session. So the maestro likes to ask you, Mark, if you have the chance to create something outside the metal, but with Richard Christie and Joy Jordison, that can represent the modern drumming and like old school death metal drumming. In your idea, you three guys together, which kind of sound can achieve during this jam session? What are your idea of writing and playing drums for a band in composition wise from your particular side?
What, that is separate from metal? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, separate from metal, because when we asked these to other guys, they came up with some interesting stuff. So we keep on making this question.
All right, okay.
Every time we can.
Well, if you watch the making of the Age of Entitlement, there is a scene. There is a scene where we just kind of go a bit off the wall a bit, and we just start jamming stupid shit, basically. So it was kind of like a funk fusion sort of rap thing, isn't it, Age?
I do, yeah.
But this is separate from metal. Like, on a serious note, I have no idea. I just think, when you think of Acid Rain, it is thrash metal. Well, UK thrash metal to the core. So I don't think that we could pick a particular change into a different sort of style from what it already is, really, if I'm being honest. I mean, what do you think, Age? Like, do you think there's any sort of...
No, I think I don't know. If you weren't playing metal, and I know you don't always play metal, but if you weren't playing metal, what style would you go to? Do you know what I mean? If you were just sat in
Tough
on your
question. Yeah.
or does it depend on mood? It's like,
if I was 100%
you know,
comfortable with it, I would say jazz, because I love playing jazz. You know, I've been learning a lot of jazz recently, and funk fusion maybe would be cool to do something different. You know, something really experimental. So yeah, like jazz or funk fusion, I think would be really cool to do if it was something aside from metal. You know,
if it was something aside from metal, I would never ever be a jazz singer.
you've got to do it. Ish. Like
No,
Richard
I don't think I could. Yeah.
Usually when people answer this question, they try to say a more percussive kind of music, so like a tribal stuff like that. But it's the first time that someone said probably playing jazz, so there is a first time to everyone. Yes, because of course
Mark's
when
a bit more refined than other drummers. You see,
Yeah.
that's why.
Don't pick me because I suck to play skunk beats. So
other people are just like, I just want to hit anything. I'm just
yeah.
Oh,
grab
mate,
this drum and hit it, and that'll do.
You've never been in a band with other drummers. I have. Yes, that's right.
Okay, now so tomorrow there will be a flyer. So Acid Rain seeking about new drummers. So audition, please.
No.
Okay,
Wrong translation.
By the way, interesting answer, because of course jazz and fusion can have more like accent and dynamics that you can explore more. So basically,
Yeah,
also
I mean that's
can
definitely
develop
something
your
that
own metal style.
yeah, I mean it's definitely something I've been exploring, and you know, definitely been working on the dynamics and the technique when it comes to, you know, accents and taps and all that kind of stuff. I'm getting a bit technical for non-drummers here, but yeah, you know, it's just something that I'm really into. You know, just the technique side of drumming overall, not just playing metal. You know, like I love music overall. I don't just listen to metal. Yes, metal and rock is my main go-to genre, but I love listening to everything, and I think it's really important as a musician to do that. You know.
Okay, yeah, of course. Be open-minded and can also open up to have different solution. Or maybe I tend to judge music as mood. For example, there are some days that I put like Joy Division, that in June. Some days I put Cannibal Corpse. Some days I put Judge or Chain of Straight and stuff like that. Sometimes Slayer. So it's better to have like different kind of, as the maestro loves, to different colors for the painting. You know.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, that's a beautiful thing about music. You know, music captures not only who you are or what you're going through, it captures what sort of like mood you're in. So if you're in a mood to listen to jazz, you know, if you're feeling happy or something, or if you're feeling, you know, you don't just listen to metal if you're angry, but you know what I mean? It just totally depends on the mood that you're in. And that's a beautiful thing about music, is it just captures every part of human existence. That's what I find anyway. And I think there's too much in music to just be so narrow-minded to not listen to it and explore into, you know, multiple genres, you know. And I think a big part of being a musician is, for me, is really important to keep that originality, because I don't want to try and sound like everyone else, but I want to be influenced by other musicians, like every musician is. I think that kind of creates originality. You know, if you don't just listen to one genre, if you listen to everything and try and play different styles and stuff like that, you know, you can kind of create your own sound, essentially.
Also, I think we have a very important philosophy of, if someone comes up with an idea, try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? If you've already got this part of the song, then how can you possibly lose by trying something else? Because that part's not going away. You know, it'll be there when you come back if your experiment doesn't work. But why not experiment?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I use
And
always
to follow up on what you were saying earlier, Graziano,
Yeah.
some days I feel like playing Acid Rain, and then on other days I feel like playing Acid Rain. That's it. Yeah,
yeah, sure, of course.
because it's the only band anybody needs, really.
Modest.
About that, there is a comment on the our YouTube of our buddy Phantomax. Ciao, Phantomax. I'm
Obnoxious.
translating. Yeah, Acid Rains are great. I'm obviously Obnoxious is one of my best album of my youth. I also purchased the reprinting because, of course, the original one was like really devastated because he listened to him day by day there. It
Wore the
would be
music
great
out.
to see you guys in Italy, he said too.
Love to. I have been to Milan many times. I've been to San Siro many times, but I've stayed in Milan, for holidays. I don't know why Milan, but yeah. And I mean, I think I would speak for everybody in the band. We'd love to play Italy. I mean,
Absolutely.
tomorrow.
In
I've,
case there is some Italian promoters on the show, send us a message so we can link the guys with you. So in case you are interested to bring.
Oh, mate! Look, just tell them to get in touch the same way you got in touch. That's the best way to do it.
Okay, good,
no problem.
Good. Okay, perfect. So.
Okay, well, there you go. Let's make it happen. This show is going to make it happen. Thank you very much for your kind comments about Obnoxious. It is, it's one of my favorite Acid Rain albums, and yeah, it was a real tough album to make, but it was really worth it. And it's great to know all these years later that people as far afield as Italy were getting into it. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So Phantomax, we hope that you are like satisfied about the answer from the guy. So before translating this section, of course, quickly, I just want to ask to Howard. No, because I want to ask you more questions as much as possible. So we have you here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I want to Howard. How about the composition process and the evolution of the Acid Rain during the years? You said that the early days, you guys get together and basically write in the rehearsal room all together. Basically focusing on bring that energy in the tape and the LP, etc. Nowadays, with all the technology and stuff, so the composition process and the recording process, as conceptual wise, not about recording and clicking the rec button. It's different. Is the same. The attitude changed. And how is your evolution during the years? Of course, you're getting older, sadly. Everyone, but of course, I think you get wiser year by year, or not. So, how are your idea about that?
Thanks for reminding me. I'm getting older. I'd forgotten. It's okay. The way we write is changing again right now as we speak, because Paul is no longer in the band. We had a different way of writing with Paul in the band than we do with Matt in the band. So it's changed again. So it's like luckily the way we are now means we can be a band because of technology being the way it is. It means that Mark can live in Newcastle, Cookie can live in Wales, Pete can live in London, and Matt can live wherever the fuck he lives. I always forget. I always want to say Bishop Stortford for some reason. It's called ADHD. I can't save the name to my hard drive. It don't work. So
maybe Mark can help in that part.
Yeah. So with that, with all of those changes internally, and with everybody living all over the place, it's great that we can send stuff to each other and go, oh, look, this is what we've done. This is what we've done. Cookie can send riffs to Matt. I can go down to Matt's. We can go arrange stuff. I can go to see Pete, put some vocals on it. Then we put it in the group, see what people think. Is this the right direction? This is way more collaborative. We see way less of each other, and we're less in the room together. but this is a way more collaborative way of writing. So it's like there is no right and wrong way. There is just the way that works for any band at any one time, because like our ways changed, and maybe album after next we write it a different way. I don't know, who knows, but it's what works any one time. In this particular way I mean, I'm speaking for Mark as well here. I hope he agrees.
Yeah, I mean, when we were writing The Age of Entitlement, basically what we did was a very kind of similar sort of process, where it was like we came up with ideas, we had a list of songs, we chose which ones, we had a vote to see which songs everyone preferred, and then we had a week to basically work on those songs each time to basically kind of perfect each song, structure wise. It could be lyrics wise, it could be drumming wise, it could be anything really, so it was very much a kind of team effort, so it was kind of like a balance between, yes, we're using the technology, but we also want to kind of keep it old school by getting together and actually writing, so that we can keep that energy on the album, which I think is something that is missing from a lot of bands nowadays.
Yeah, and also you with working on the songs in a room together, which you have to do, in my opinion. And I know a few bands who've digitally written albums and then gone in the studio and recorded them and then played them live, and it's the wrong way around. Certainly for us, anyway. We've got to go and play them live in a room together and basically stress test them, pull them apart, and and see what gives and see how we can improve them. And all bets are off. It could be your individual favorite part of the song, but if it's not working, then it's got to go. And that you can't, you've got to kill your darlings sometimes, as I believe they say in the filmmaking world. But sometimes that best bit of the song might actually be stopping it working as well as it could be. So it's not the best bit. Take it out. Everything's got to be what's right for the song. The song is the most important member of the band.
And I think the difference is that when you record something and you send it over with the technology that we've got now and share it, you don't necessarily get the same feel or groove as what you do if you play in a room together. So I think that's a really important thing to make sure that is there, because it might sound good as it is, with technology nowadays, where you just share it with band members and whatnot, bandmates. But it might not have the right feel. Tempo-wise, it might need slowed down, sped up. There's so many questions that you can ask. With basically the main thing is feel. Because if you get into a rehearsal room together, you've got to know that if you feel it, then it's a good thing. And it's happened before, where we've got a particular song on the Age of Entitlement that we all think's a great song, but we'll play it live and it's not the same. And it's like, that's kind of a similar sort of thing. You just don't know until you're in that situation how well it works for an album or how well it works live. And it's the same thing with technology and getting into a rehearsal room together. It's like you don't know until you actually play it as a band, if it works or not.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because of course it's also my way to write, because now, as you can tell, the fancy light and stuff, but I'm in my studio. So usually when I work with my own stuff, we do technology wise, and then we jump to the rehearsal room just to know if they feel right, because of course, as you can tell, we have like a preview here, but the real stuff happen when you play, and maybe you have to change like the structure a little bit, changing the feel, because you think about something that is overplayed or not good for the song, or maybe a vocal line, or just the way you play. So I always say, also because I'm the youngster of the crew of Calice Nero, just to have like an old school way to play, like in the modern time. So just not to be stuck in the past, but just to incamerate and take the good of the past and the good of the modern days and try to combine them. So okay, the computer is great, so you can write and jump part, but you have the missing the feeling. How you can have the feeling on just rehearsing, trying, experimenting. So it's great. It's good to have like this vision from you guys. So also for the new bands that are coming up, that they're also asking the process, the composition process, it's good to make them focus on the songs, not on also not all only on individual playing, on the feeling, because nowadays you can click and quantize everything, but the feeling is still human. No, not any machine can have the human feeling, you know. So you can set the velocity of the snare as you want, but the playing is there. If you are not focusing on the play, on the the way of playing the guitar, the bass and stuff, of course you cannot have this like universe that is moving in the same direction. Everyone, like, because as I said earlier, by the way, guys, if sometimes I talk on you, it's not because I want to interrupt you, but the delay of connection have like some pause, so I tend to fill the gaps. But as I said earlier, the hero of the day must be the song, because of course people paying tickets to see the band, not Howard by himself or Mark by himself. So in a social,
or just
media,
Howard and Mark, the famous vocal and drum combo.
Yeah.
That's all I could hear on stage at Bloodstock. Howard and Mark, sometimes just Mark.
sometimes, but you see my point. So it's good to have also this point of view. And since we are talking about the Age of Entitlement, which is if I'm not mistaken, your last full length, before asking more deep question about it, you guys have having cooked something new? How was your future plan? If you can tell us something. If you can tell, you have to tell us, because you are here.
Yes. I think we haven't discussed this term, but I'm going to throw it out there. But I think we've had a breakthrough with one particular song where we all feel that is kind of like, right, that's the bar. Like from now on, every song needs to be as good as that one or better. So and we're only 2 songs in, so having found that means that we know where we're going, and so it's good. It's a good place to be. We've got a process that appears to be working. Certainly if it's produced that. I was down at Matt's again last week, which is a long day. That's 4 hours in the car and 6 hours in the studio, singing and writing and arranging and then but do you know what? It's the most fun. It's absolutely awesome to be a bit more involved in the writing process than previously. So it's kind of like, for me, it reminds me of what it was like writing albums back in the day. Being like going like, oh, how about if we go here with this, as opposed to kind of getting a nearly finished framework, putting some vocals on it, and then work, and then all really putting a lot into making those songs the best they can be. But it's great to be like in an even earlier stage, and working with somebody who's frankly so easy to work with, and so good at what they do, with Matt, that it's it can only be beneficial for this next album, which I'm really excited about, which is great, because about about 18 months ago, I couldn't give a shit. So yeah, this is a great place to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what Howard mentioned before about, you know, setting the bar, I think it's really important for us definitely to not just try and do another Age of the Entitlement, you know. We want to kind of keep things fresh, and we don't want every album to sound the same. You know, we know our sound, so we're going to focus on what is us, essentially. And yeah, I think you know, I don't like it when there's just bands who kind of bring out the same thing over and over again. We want to keep things fresh, but keep it acid rain, you know. And I think with one of the songs that we've chose, it's definitely that. I'm not trying to give too much away here, but
yeah.
It's
Can I just add that I completely agree with what Mark said, with one exception, and that is that Slayer were allowed to release all you know, album after album of the same stuff, right? There's always an exception that proves the rule, though. There's always an exception that proves the rule. That's just the exception. But yeah, I totally agree.
When Slayer tries to sound differently, basically the critic, but
well,
I love that album, so I'm the one that likes the God's Data Soul and the other one. So,
well, I'm going to put this out there because we've had this phrase kicking around within the band for a while now. So seeing as how, you know, you've been good enough to have us on, but this can be the first time that it kind of comes outside of the group, which is that if you can imagine the Age of Entitlement was the follow-up to Obnoxious, the next album is like the band who released the Age of Entitlement do a follow-up to The Fear. So, you know, a bit different.
Yeah, I think, you know, with what I was saying before as well, I think it's really important for an album to have a flow. I mean, we did that with the Age of Entitlement. You know, it wasn't just about choosing the songs that we thought were good. It was about songs that would work as a whole, as an album. And you know, we're treating this writing process the same. You know, if there's a good song, cool, but does it work with the rest of the album? You know, that's one of the most important questions, you know, because I think an album has to kind of be like a book. You know, it's got to have that flow, and it's got to tell a good story, you know, and each song has to work with the other, really, you know. I think that's a really important part of what we are doing and what we did with the Age of Entitlement as well.
Yeah, it's like that's where the good old-fashioned track listing comes in.
Yeah,
because it's like the songs have got to. They've not just got to work in isolation. They've got to flow into each other. They've all got to work. And one great compliment that I loved seeing, because the Age of Entitlement was 4 years old recently, and there was a compliment that a few people made, which I loved seeing, which said, this is one of those albums where I can't play one song. Once I'm in, I start the beginning and then I listen to the whole album.
Adesso traduciamo il tutto, se no per i nostri ragazzi,
no, perché abbiamo veramente parlato di tanto con i ragazzi che ci hanno dato delle anticipazioni dell'album, ci hanno parlato della loro visione di musica. È stato molto bello ascoltarli, dargli, diciamo, una panoramica anche per i gruppi nuovi. Quindi fondamentalmente è stato bello sentire che stanno facendo, diciamo, questo lavoro, e intanto sono simpaticissimi, quindi ce li voglio bene. I love you guys, basically. No, praticamente rimanete sintonizzati sulle pagine di Acid Dream, perché loro stanno scrivendo nuovo materiale. Howard è andato da Matteo, hanno fatto 6 ore in studio più 4 ore di macchina, e stanno iniziando a scrivere le parti, si stanno giostrando e stanno evolvendo come sono, quindi veramente sono molto molto in hype. Infatti si vede che sono molto contenti, perché a breve usciranno nuovi materiali. Poi abbiamo parlato delle influenze dal jazz alla fusion, insomma, di Mark durante la jam session che abbiamo detto prima. Insomma, hanno parlato veramente a 360 gradi della loro arte, di come la vogliono appunto portare al pubblico, perché comunque il loro ultimo album, che adesso ha quasi 4 anni, comunque ha bisogno di un seguito, e quindi loro si stanno giostrando mantenendo un nucleo, o diciamo alla vecchia maniera, ma con uno spirito nuovo. Quindi ci sarà molte novità, perché dicono che l'unica band che può rilasciare album tutti uguali sono solo gli Slayer. Loro vogliono rinnovarsi album dopo album praticamente. È stato molto bello vedere la loro idea di musica, che va oltre l'idea di individualità, ma per la band. Quindi l'eroe del giorno deve essere la canzone, quindi che sia la parte di basso, la voce, la batteria, belle canzoni. Infatti loro hanno preso un paio di canzoni di Age of Entitlement, l'hanno presi come riferimento, hanno detto da oggi in poi dobbiamo scrivere canzoni almeno di questa qualità. Infatti io sono molto d'accordo con questa cosa, perché personalmente l'ho conosciuti con questo album. I was just saying about also my experience about what you said, because I'm the youngster here. I discovered you guys with the Age of Entitlement, because the maestro was my pusher, my music pusher. So, grazie.
Perché per me gli Slayer hanno fatto dei capolavori anche attualmente, Chris Illusion, veramente, cioè, come band non si può dire
supplier.
ai Metallica li può dire di andare a cagare perché è un gruppo di merda, però
the
gli
maestro
Slayer,
liked your parallelism with the fact that only Slayer have to release the same kind of album, but everyone should evolve to like get different sounds and different ideas. So of course you see me when you see the maestro silent, because it's liking the interview. So finally a band that wants to talk and wants to share their vision. We are very happy when we have this conversation, like we were like in the pub and drinking and talking about music as like a normal, not an interview, like a normal conversation, just flowing ideas and concept. But maestro,
this is what we do, man. You're in the band for like fucking an hour. This is what we do.
No, fuck Metallica. Fuck you Metallica. Fuck you Metallica.
You said the wrong thing now.
Così del botto, proprio out of context, maestro.
It was going so well.
No problem.
Maestro, why you say that? Maestro, why?
Per quanto riguarda
Mark is a massive
voi,
Metallica fan.
Per quanto riguarda voi come band, al debutto, quando stavate componendo, ragazzi, soprattutto per Howard, poi è venuto anche il 2015, fucking fuck you Metallica, ma no, anche fuck you Metallica. Quindi quando stavate componendo anche in saletta, Howard, soprattutto per te la domanda, ci sono degli aneddoti particolari, delle situazioni che vuoi raccontare che ancora non hai detto a nessuno?
Okay.
Mark, per caso, qual è il batterista che vorresti rubare il blast beat?
Okay, so the spicy question for Howard, and more
I know the Italian for blast beat is blast.
Oh, no, it's not about that. The part of question for you, Howard, it's from the maestro. There is a one of a kind episode that happened back in the days during the composition process that was too weird that you never shared these memories with anyone. So fun memory, weird memory, that maybe some kind of craziness that said, oh, but was funny or was weird or something like that. So.
Well, I do. On Friday, I will be in Bristol doing my 90-minute spoken word show about all of those stories.
Okay.
So I've
now for us that are far away from Bristol. So now.
So get on the plane.
Yeah. So it's £5 in bargain, £6 on the door. I've pretty much got all the stories out there in this show, but I haven't, it's not available online or anything like that. But yeah, there was some real insane stuff back in the day on the road, involving people getting arrested. Mike Gonzalez from Dark Angel was arrested in Germany for things that we all did. We never saw him again on the tour. He was still in jail when we finished the tour. Dan Lilker stepped in and played bass for Dark Angel for the rest of the tour. We all thought it was really funny at first, and then we all realized it was like really not funny. I mean, I didn't.
What you guys did back in the day. So.
Oh yeah, it's like this is the crazy kind of shit that we used to get up to. I can't tell the story of how Gons got out. I can't to this day. I can if you come to the show. I could do it live, but I can't broadcast or have on social media or anything.
Like,
how that story developed.
Some shady stuff.
Yeah.
So shady stuff. So okay.
Yeah,
but
let's just say that
something that you can tell live
money.
Yeah. Okay. But there is one thing that you can say in general, even a stupid one.
Well, yeah, probably the time
when an artist shares the opinion and the experience, because of course we can rely on. Yeah, we have fun. We have fun with you remembering it. It's good.
Let me tell you the story of the time Kev fell over in his own shit. Kev was so drunk that he couldn't even go to the toilet properly. So two people were holding him while he had a shit, but their hands slipped and he just fell over into a pool of his own shit. And it was a pool. It wasn't like a lump. It was like basically it was like sort of chicken tikka masala basically.
Okay. I just had dinner 5 minutes before the live stream. Thank you, Howard, for this.
There you go. No problem. Pasta sauce with with small chunks of pasta.
Okay. Before jumping to the question that the maestro wants to tell to Mark, I'm just translating a little bit because the chat is exploding right now on Telegram.
Ok.
Praticamente la cosa più divertente che ti possono dire, e non te la posso dire perché hanno riservato uno show speciale a tutte le tour memory, che sono ovviamente alcune cose anche che non si possono dire, diciamo, registrate, quindi a Bristol farà una sorta di diciamo risposte e domande su questa cosa. Si ricorda che praticamente un membro della band praticamente doveva cagare, non riusciva a cagare ed è caduto sulla propria merda praticamente. Una cosa schifosissima, che stava tutto ubriaco, sai come funziona in tour. Poi per esempio quando è stato arrestato il tizio di Dark Angel e quindi durante il tour, capito? Cose un po' fuori dalla portata della gente normale. Però lui ha creato proprio una sorta di incontro-scontro, tra virgolette, dove appunto ricorda queste cose, quindi invita tutti quanti ad andare a Bristol, dove fa questa sorta di, penso, Q&A, tipo, dove lui risponde, dice queste cose. Mark,
sul canale mezze nude, però
the question for you is about your playing style. We know that, of course, thrash metal is all about skank beats, and or someone calls them the Bay Area polka, no? That's the skank
Okay.
beat. But about blast beat and skank beat, you have a particular routine? You have something that you developed yourself, or you just learned by songs? Just a quick tip for younger drummer that wants to approach. My tip is to get marching sticks to practice.
Oh, right, cool. Yeah, that's a great way to practice. You know, any sort of stickings, rudiments, anything like that. Practice rudiments is definitely one of the most essential ones to any people out there who want to learn how to play drums. Rudiments are called essential rudiments for a reason. For drumming style, I would say, you know, my biggest influence in drumming is Bill Ward from Black Sabbath. I actually had it was a VHS, a videotape from Metal Hammer, and it had Black Sabbath from Paris. And I was just totally blown away by Bill Ward's drumming. You know, watching him play Hand of Doom and War Pigs, just outstanding. You know, I'd never seen anyone drum like that. You know, it was really strange because at the time there was someone who was showing me like John Bonham and Ginger Baker and people like that, you know, but for some reason just Bill Ward just really caught my attention. I don't know what it was, but he just seemed to have something I really liked. So, you know, like I was always playing a Black Sabbath when I first started. I was playing to a lot of different things really, but Black Sabbath was the big one. Metallica, sorry, Metallica, Megadeth, Testament. You know, there was Korn.
Maestro is approving, by the way. So he said, okay.
Yeah,
Metallica,
Megadeth, Rust in Peace, full
yeah. I mean,
length
for me,
plastic.
honestly, like my favorite drummer in Megadeth has always been Gar Samuelson, who played on Peace Sells, but who's buying Killing Is My Business, you know. And it just seems to me, you know, every single drummer that I seem to really kind of being drawn towards has some sort of jazz influence, you know. Like one of my favorite modern drummers, or my favorite modern drummer, I should say, is Martin Lopez, who used to be the drummer in Opeth, who now has a band called Soen. If you haven't heard Soen, go and check them out because they are unbelievable. And his drumming is just so underrated. You know, he's got so much good feel. Again, he's got that kind of jazz sort of style in him as well. Who can play metal, you know. And I just think, you know, that when you combine the jazz sort of style and the metal style of drumming and put them together, it just creates something beautiful, you know, that not a lot of drummers can do, you know. So when it comes to like my style, I think, you know, I definitely like thrash metal, rock drummers like John Bonham, Ginger Baker, Bill Ward, who's kind of, you know, I wouldn't kind of title him as a rock drummer. He's kind of more like a jazz drummer who can play rock, you know,
He's
in
a
Black Sabbath,
just
essentially.
drummer.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say, you know, like I'm very much a drummer who likes to. I'm all about the groove and the feel, you know, not so much technique or how fast, you know, I could potentially play. I don't really focus on speed as such. I just like to play by feel and make sure that whatever I play has groove, you know. And I think that's me down to a T compared to a lot of metal drummers out there now who, you know, you see it online now. It's all about how fast someone can play that impresses people and stuff like that. And for me, it's never been about that. It's all, you know, it kind of goes back to what H was saying before about, you know, it's all about the song. You know, music is sound, you know, and feel. So, you know, drums is an instrument. Doesn't mean you have to, like, you know, play as fast as possible just to sound good, you know. You've got to make it sound good. And a really cool thing that Ginger Baker said in his documentary The Way of Mr. Baker, which is outstanding, by the way. He says it's not what you play, it's what you say. And I think that is absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and I not only do I agree with that, I think when you were talking there, Mark, I was thinking about the fact that there is one thing that you need to let go of when you were referring to how fast people can play and stuff like that. One thing you have to let go of is your ego, because the song is the important thing. So don't be doing what you want in this part of the song. Do what's best for the song. Yeah, and that is where people struggle. That's the difference for me between true proper songwriting. You know, you can absolutely be wanting to rip this part, but and it's made for it, but it doesn't suit the song, so you don't. You know, and that's
totally agree with that, because when I teach to kids to play drums, I said that basically music is a discipline that we do with friends with smile on the face. So ego down and collaboration first thing, because I am the guy that I want to listen to bands, not to one kind of drummer. Okay, for example, yesterday I was watching Eloy Casagrande in his masterclass. Okay, it's great, but when he played Sepultura was even greater than his solos, because
absolutely.
Music. So it's about what you want to listen. You want to be part of a machine and basically grow up with your friends and your bandmates, or just do something alone. So the most important part is to, of course, blend your ego with the band, like missions, no? So it's great to have those opinions, and also a lot of the drummers that Mark's quoted are one of my favorite too. I also add, because I'm left-handed, also Jan Pace from Deep Purple. But the fact that all the guys that we nominated as they played for the song. John Bonham played for the song. Bill Ward played for the song. Ginger Baker. So they are showing off because the songs require to show off, not
exactly.
Have to
Neil Peart, what?
Neil Peart,
Laureano, se non ricordo male, se la pronunciasse.
Vabbè, pure Neil Peart, per esempio. So we have plenty of examples where the music comes first. But I think nowadays people tend to try to steal the throne. For example, it's good that, of course, the frontman is on the front because it's the frontman. Yeah. But a lot of drummers tend to try to be the frontman. That is not like this. Drummers can have, Maestro don't like it, can have like Lars Ulrich his own role outside the band, like managing, promoting.
Ma cazzo, Lars Ulrich non sa manco suonare, non sa neanche dove c'ha i piedi, non sto scherzando.
Me and the Maestro, I love Lars Ulrich, the Maestro.
No, ma Lars Ulrich dov'è che è bravo come batterista?
There you go, finally.
Cioè, io non ho ancora capito. No, ma io non capisco ancora attualmente.
With Lars Ulrich, it's very much, non-drummers who have this like trend going on of Lars hate, and it's like no one would ever play drums like he did on Master of Puppets. Like, he is like the Ringo Starr of metal. That's the way I think. When I hear
great
Maestro, but for example, Mark sta dicendo che Lars Ulrich è come fosse il Ringo Starr del metal, perché anche se non suona tanto bene ha influenzato tante cose.
Sì, lo so, ok, va benissimo, ma Dave Lombardo, uno come Dave Lombardo mi fa 10-0, li fa 10-0, cioè 10-0 li fa, non sto scherzando. O Paul Boston.
Però vedi pure la sua indirizzo, cioè Dave Lombardo funziona per gli Slayer, cioè Dave Lombardo works for Slayer, but when Dave Lombardo played with Metallica,
la solo che può tirare la sciabola del senso, quello può fare.
Yes, but he didn't help. He was playing Lars's songs. He didn't help arrange those songs. The thing, the one thing Lars can do is he can arrange the fuck out. James Hetfield's an amazing guitarist, but Lars is the filter that everything goes through. He picks the riffs, he changes the riffs, he arranges the sections, he directs. And Dave Lombardo is a way better, massively different drummer, but way better, and I'd like him more. But without Lars, there's fucking no Metallica.
Allora piace il fatto che Lars Ulrich, nonostante suoni peggio di Dave Lombardo, è lui responsabile della produzione delle canzoni dei Metallica, oltre a James loro lo premiano perché non è solo batterista, ma è tutto quello che c'è attorno, capito?
Anche io lo premierei, ma mi sto zitto, meglio.
Ok, Maestro, vabbè, we have like different opinions. For me,
have we upset him?
No, but Maestro said, Maestro was talking only drumming wise.
No, non mi piace proprio come batterista.
He said after all the
but it's about the whole package.
He said why Lars Ulrich, after Neil Peart, after John Bonham, but he have his own space. Trust me.
The drummer Vini con l'aiuta.
Okay, it is my dream. I must say to have Dave Lombardo and James Hetfield doing an album, just one.
Vorrebbe fare un album con James Hetfield e Dave Lombardo insieme.
No, ti prego, no, per favore, no.
Maestro, no.
Dave Mustaine's going to be well pissed off.
Wow, the drummer, number one.
Why not on it?
The drummer number one, Vini con l'aiuta.
For the maestro, the drum. Vabbè, but you are talking about guys from another planet like Virgil Donati and stuff like that. So
Sì, perché è l'unico batterista che sa suonare tutti, cioè
we
può
are
suonare
human,
tutti i
so
generi.
those are like aliens. So we
Mike
have
Mangini, un grandissimo batterista.
I'm going Neil Peart. He's
Neil
my
Peart.
favorite.
Pure
My
Neil
favorite
Peart.
drummer of all time.
Sì.
Pure, vabbè, Neil Peart was also a good lyricist. So talking
Sì,
about the
vabbè.
music, so the fact that the musician back in the days, okay, show off, but the music was show off, not only their self. So
Ultima, una curiosità mia. Marco,
Vai.
cosa ne pensi di John Tempesta?
Okay, what about John Tempesta, Mark? About
I love him. I think he's great. Yeah,
Okay,
I
now
think
smile on the face of the maestro again after this answer.
Perché diciamo che non sapeva suonare, per quello
Can
John
I-
Tempesta.
Can I
I
tell a
think
story about?
that,
Can I tell a story about John Tempesta?
Yeah, please, tell us.
I met John Tempesta as a teenager in London with Exodus recording Force of Habit.
Okay.
And we went, me and Kev went down to the studio, met up with them all because we toured with Exodus on the Fabulous Disaster tour. So we went down there, met up with them all, had beers, and that was the first and only time I've ever met him, when he was about to lay drums down on his like first ever like album, and it was on a major label, and two idiots from Yorkshire turned up and got everybody pissed.
Nice.
And went out for a curry. But anyway, I'm sorry, I just remembered that story.
No, it's great to know that kind of story, but sadly we are running out of time. So guys, if you agree, when you're free, we can set up like a part 2. So basically we can continue the
No, fuck off. This was awful.
Cioè, John Tempesta non gli piace?
No, ha detto che non ci è piaciuta. No, stava scherzando, cioè non ci è piaciuta l'intervista.
Ah, nel precedente intervista, vabbè, basta. Non vengono più, ma tanto vi aspettiamo una seconda parte.
He's
The
upset.
2-part video interview, eh?
No,
Yeah.
Thank you for no, it was a pleasure, guys. So...
No, aspetta, di John Tempesta cosa hanno detto?
No, ha detto che l'ha conosciuto addirittura mentre faceva l'album con gli Exodus.
Ok, perché vabbè, allora, hanno detto sempre che non sapeva suonare,
No,
nei
gli piace
tecnici, che
molto,
sbagliava tutto. No, sto dicendo quello che ho sentito. Io non ho avuto niente mai contro. Basta che nominate la Surly, che per me tutti gli altri vanno bene.
Okay. So,
It's okay.
Ritual, last 2 ritual question that we always ask to the people, to our guests. Long story short, our first episode together was with someone that nobody knows, called Paul Mazurkiewicz from Cannibal Corpse. I think it's a small band that nobody knows. Last year, so he saw our logo that you can see on the screen. I say, guys, why you called us Il Calice Nero? And we explained the concept about the ritualistic Calice and the philosophy behind it, because we love also philosophy and stuff like that. And he said, guys, what do you like to put inside the Calice to express yourself? So I was like, what kind of question Paul did to us? And basically, we flipped this question to all the guys. So if you have to describe yourself with a drink in that Calice, which kind of drink can describe yourself in the best way?
Oltre la bevanda, sia Howard sia Mark devono scegliere un cibo per accompagnare la bevanda che scelgono.
Ok, ma ce lo dico dopo, facciamo pensare prima alla cosa. Also, the maestro, since he's
no, diglielo, così lo dico.
He said, okay, you got the drink, but also the meal too. So which is the best combination, meal and drink, to describe acid rain? Probably some acid inside the Calice, but I don't want to be like fancy.
Right. Okay. So the best drink to have with the meal. Okay. The best drink. I'm going to go for the drink here, Mark. Right. Because I think it's a slam dunk. The drink you're having is what most Acid Rain fans drink before they go see Acid Rain. You're going to have a pint of vodka Red Bull. Okay. So that's the drink.
Una pinta di vodka Red Bull. Bello.
Yeah. Okay. 2 cans of Red Bull and a load of vodka and a pint glass. And the meal, I don't know. I reckon steak and chips or fish and chips. Or Neil, what do you reckon, Mark?
I was going to say McDonald's, even though I don't like McDonald's, but that just seems to be like what we do. So.
No,
in
please, guys.
that case, a big, fat, juicy,
Like
really
greasy,
nice burger, like the place
mushy,
in,
horrible.
like home in Manchester. Those like fucking gorgeous
Okay.
burgers.
No,
I try and have every time.
that's too neat.
Can I say? I just want to say
Burger van,
something.
burger van, burger,
I just want to
and
say
a pint
something.
of
For
vodka
me-
Red Bull.
For me, McDonald's are metallic, and you guys are like the pub hamburger. Okay?
Yeah.
Comparing the quality.
Ragazzi,
Metallic are
that.
must-
I like that.
chiediamo
I like
perché
Yeah, with the artisan burger, you know,
Yeah,
in a brioche bun, medium rare, grass-fed beef, red onions with a horseradish mayonnaise, lightly toasted bun, little bit of mustard.
Someone take notes of the ingredient and created the acid rain burger. So.
There's already been one.
No,
has
there
been
is.
made.
Really?
Yeah. And the acid, the onions were soaked in gin.
Okay. Cool.
Not jizz.
No, not jizz, said Sex Jesus.
Okay, guys, thank you for being with us these
got
hour
it in.
and 10 minutes.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Matt.
Pleasure.
It was really funny
Thank you.
to have you guys
Grazie.
on the show. So please stay
Great
in touch
fun, guys.
for the next one. But
Absolutely.
as we
send
said,
those Italian promoters our way.
yeah, please, so we can meet in real life and have a nice.
Yeah,
time
have a
together.
pint of vodka Red Bull.
Yeah, but if you see me laughing when I ask the drink question, because I'm actually a straight edge guy, so I don't drink. But Maestro,
Oh,
made
right.
me
You
tell
just
this
drink the blood
question
of goats,
every
don't
time.
you?
Oh yeah. So I'm the weird one. I'm the weird guy. So, guys, thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Nice,
Absolute
nice
pleasure.
evening. A big hug from Italy, and looking forward to have you back. Was really a blast to have you here on the show.
Cool.
And
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Grazie.
If there is a match between how is talking more between you, Howard, and Tony Dolan, it's a tough one. So let's have.
You should hear the episode of my podcast where it's me and Tony just talking.
It's like
4 hours,
90
minutes,
8 hours of talking. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I just wanted to say, just with relevance to Tony Dolan, I just wanted to just say my thoughts are with Mandis and Anita, his girlfriend, who has cancer. I just wanted to put it out there that my thoughts are out there with them.
Yeah,
and I was
sure.
familiar with that.
We also, as organization, Volt Lab, we helped also them during the crash that we got in during on tour, because we every day. So a big hug to Mantes and his wife, and also to the crew and all the guys, really down to the earth people. I stayed with them 3 days in Italy, sharing experience and having fun, but also here on the program. So, guys, thank you for reminding me that Mark. We will put the GoFundMe in description too. So if you want to help, every help is appreciated. Listen up, Acid Rain, buy their merch. They are funny, even if they're British. They're funnier than most British that I know. But
buy our music because we're funny.
Buy support music. Buy physical music.
Sold.
Buy physical music because it's physical music. As we said, Calice Nero represent our freedom of expression. So support the music, support the guys, and thank you to everyone that commented and expressed their thoughts on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So
thank you
again,
Twitch,
Mark.
Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks all commenters. Thank you. Sorry if we didn't answer any questions.
Also, thanks to all the bots that spamming their links during our lesson. So I have to type.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck off, Vladimir.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
And since we are closing up, guys, if you want to tell last words about this something coming on, you have free space, and then we close the program.
Bye, Howard.
Bye, Friday.
Absolutely nothing.
No.
Okay.
Goodbye, Maestro.
Absolutely
nice to meet you.
Perfect.
Nice
Ciao,
to meet you.
ragazzi.
Prego, grazie Mark.
Grazie mille.
Grazie.
Il conto per favore.
Il conto per favore.
Okay, perfect. Guys, thank you very much from the bottom of the heart, from Graziano.
Prego.
Godio.
This is Il Calice Nero, and we see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Where is the outro? Here.